So this evening we're going to do some teachings on the topic of Guru, and also we'll continue in another two satsangs in the coming days. The title of this program is From Darkness to Light, the importance of the spiritual teacher. So we'll read from Bliss Divine by Swami Sivananda on the topic Guru. The reason that the program is called From Darkness to Light is that the word Guru literally means the one who removes the darkness. So the spiritual teacher is the one that brings the light of knowledge and removes the darkness of ignorance. When we chant in the end, Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, this is the journey that we do from Asatoma, from unreal to the real, from untruth to truth, and then Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness to light, from ignorance to knowledge, and Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya, from death to immortality. And for this, the Guru is needed. So the program is called The Importance of the Spiritual Teacher. Also, Swami Sivananda explains spiritual teacher is needed in all the path of yoga, in bhakti yoga, in karma yoga, in raja yoga, and definitely in jnana yoga, in hatha yoga even. We can not really make progress to the higher levels of hatha yoga without direct guidance of a guru. So Swami Sivananda speaks very highly about a specific yoga that is called Guru Bhakti Yoga. And he says this is the best yoga for this age, for the Kali Yuga. He also says this about Kirtan. But he has an article where he speaks about both Kirtan and Guru Bhakti Yoga as the most appropriate yoga for this day and age, for this Kali Yuga, the Iron Age. So he also says that if you practice this Guru Bhakti Yoga, you will attain success with all the other yogas. You know, some people think why do I need a guru? I can just read in the book and then I can practice asana and pranayama, I can practice meditation, I can do all this sadhana. But the yogis are saying without the blessings of the guru, without the grace of the guru, we cannot have success in any of these yogas. I remember one time we had a very advanced teacher of Hatha Yoga, very experienced, and he gave a lecture on Hatha Yoga, specifically on pranayama. And then the question came, what is the best pranayama exercise? What is the most recommended ratio to do the Analoma Viloma? And how many rounds would be the perfect recipe for good progress in Hatha Yoga? And the answer that he gave was, whatever the guru tells you, because it's very, very individual, it's very specific. To be guided specifically by guru, this is the answer to any question. What is the best sadhana for this time, for that time, for this person, for that person, is to follow the instructions of the guru. And even Adi Shankaracharya, the great yogi, saint, avatar, philosopher of the 8th century, who is the father of Advaita Vedanta, he has a very famous text called Viveka Chudamani, the crescent jewel of discrimination. And in the end, there is a section in the book which is just short questions and answers. So the first question is asked to Adi Shankaracharya, what is the most important thing for the spiritual aspirant to do? And he says, find a guru and follow their instructions. This is the utmost important thing to do in the spiritual path. So in this beautiful article by Swami Sivananda, he starts by defining what is Guru. What is this idea, or this concept, this principle? Then he answered the question, is it really necessary? Can we do without it? Or is it really needed? And he explains the answer to this question. Then he goes on to say, well, now that you understand what it is, and now that you understand that it's needed, then the question comes how to find. Where to find, where to look, how to search, and even more important, how to find. And then finally, he speaks about what to do once you found. When you found the Guru, and there is a connection, and there is a relationship of Guru and disciple, what should the disciple do? How should the disciple behave? What question should they ask, or what activity they should do? So we start to read, and hopefully we'll get answer to these questions. Swami Sivananda says, the Guru is God himself, manifesting in a personal form to guide the aspirant. So Guru is God himself, but appearing in a human form. So what do we mean by Guru is God himself? There is a beautiful verse from the Dakshinamurti Stotra, Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine. The Ishvara, or God, the Guru, and the Atman, the self, are one and the same. It's the same one. We're not talking about three different beings. It's the same one, only manifesting in different forms. One form is called Ishvara, or God. Another form is Guru and the self, but they're all the same. It's the same one, manifesting in different forms. So to understand the idea that Ishvara and the Guru and the self, your innermost self, your real self, are one. Meaning you are one with God, you are one with Guru, Guru is one with God. To understand that oneness, we have to understand what is God, who is God. If Guru is God, then who is God? So Swami Sivananda and all the scriptures explains that God is the totality of everything that exists. And when you try to understand totality, is very difficult to comprehend. But let's take an example. In this human body, everybody can relate. There is a human body, but it consists of many things, many organs and cells and many, many parts. They say 100 trillion cells are making this one organism. So the totality, meaning all the individual cells, but in totality, is this body. Now let's talk about the creation. Creation, this creation that we experience, seems to consist of many things, many people and animals and trees and rivers and mountains, and also mental objects, thoughts, emotions, so many things. The totality of all of these things is God. So this is why in the Q&A with Swami Rupananda, he explains all the physical bodies in the creation, in totality, is called Virat, is the physical body of God. All the astral bodies, all the minds in the entire creation is the mind of God. And all the causal bodies is also, the causal level is God. So the best analogy is really to look at the ocean and see that there are many individual waves right? This seems to be individual. One wave small, one big. Now there is a stormy ocean with many, many waves. But also there is one vast ocean. And each of these individual waves, I mean, if you think about it, the totality of all the waves is the ocean. But what is the essence of each wave? Is water. And what is the essence of the ocean? Is water. So there is no difference between wave and ocean. Therefore we say there is no difference in essence between the individual and God. So the Guru, but the Guru is God himself. Why? Because the Guru knows that in essence he or she is not different from God. And therefore he is God himself. Because see, the moment the wave knows that in essence it is water, it is one with the ocean. So it is no longer an individual, it is the totality. So the Guru is like you are a small wave and the Guru is a big wave, but the difference is that from his perspective, he's not a wave, he's not an individual, he's God. And therefore we need a Guru, we need someone who went through this journey from beginning to end and attained the knowledge. Only such a person can give us the knowledge. And only if once we have this knowledge and claim our own identity as the self, as God, only then we can be free and we can be happy. Therefore, Guru is needed and there is no way around it. Without the Guru, we cannot attain this knowledge. Without the Guru, we cannot do this journey on our own, because Swami Sivananda explained this spiritual path is very, very thorny and full of not just obstacles, but it's complicated. The regular, normal human mind cannot understand all this complexity. Only the Guru can guide the disciple through this forest, through this ocean, and take us safely to the other shore. So, therefore, he says the Guru is God himself, manifesting in a personal form to guide the aspirant. So it's a very sacred relationship between disciple and Guru. And Swami Sivananda says, for the disciple, it's very important to see the Guru as God. It is very, very important for the disciple. And he says, grace of God takes the form of the Guru. Now, what does it mean, grace of God takes the form of the Guru? Because the individual soul, the jiva, each one of us, is going through a long journey of spiritual evolution from one lifetime to another, to another, to another. And through this journey, we learn our karmic lessons. We go through our karmic journey. We evolve, we purify, we experience our karma, and we learn new lessons. But at some point, we reach a level where we ask deep questions. What is the nature of the self? What is the solution for suffering? How to remove suffering? How to attain happiness? And at that time, the soul, you can say, now is a spiritual aspirant. And then the spiritual aspirants start to pray, oh God, because starting to understand the solution is to know God. So, oh God, show yourself to me. And then God's grace manifests, because he answers the prayers, and manifests in the form of a Guru that appears in the life of the disciple. And Swami Rupananda told us, when the disciple meets the Guru, they can be sure that this is now the last leg of our spiritual journey. It's really the end, because but it can take some time, and it can consist of hard work. It's not always rosy, it can be difficult, but it's clearly the last leg of the spiritual journey. So he says, to see the Guru is to see God. To see the Guru is to see God. One time there was a Q&A satsang with Swami Rupananda, and it was, normally we collect the questions in advance, right? Because to make sure there's no question that is inappropriate or too personal. But that was in another place where they did not collect the questions in advance. So the question, somebody just asked a question, have you seen God? That was the very direct question. And he answered very nicely. He answered, well, I've seen my Guru. That was the first part. And the second part was, and my Guru showed me the way how to see God within. So this is the idea. To see the Guru is to see God. But really, it's not just to stare at the Guru and say, oh, this is God. But it's really to follow the instructions, to follow the teachings. This is the most important thing in this relationship, is to really obey the spiritual instruction, to have faith that this person, of course, you don't just follow blindly. The idea is to really use your discernment, and Swami Vishnu says always test and use your reason. Don't take it blindly. But once you realize that this is someone that, yes, I would like to follow, then it's good to have faith. It's good to have faith and to trust, and then to really follow the instruction. And he always says to the letter and to the spirit. So both to follow very accurately, but also to understand the spirit, to understand the vision, the goal. So he says, the Guru is united with God. He inspires devotion in others. His presence purifies all. So because this is someone who went through the path from beginning to end, therefore he attained the state of what we call yoga, or union with God, is the samadhi. And Swami Sivananda explains the Guru's mind is in samadhi, and it affects those in their presence. To be in the company, in the presence of someone whose mind is in a state of samadhi, superconscious state, union with God, it radiates to others. Very good. This is an indication that it's truth. So it's very, very inspiring to be in the presence of such great beings. You can really feel it. And he says, he inspires devotion. So devotion or bhakti is contagious. You get it from someone who has it. Like fire, when you're in the presence of fire, you feel the heat. And also he says his presence purifies. So this is important to understand, because when Ramana Maharshi was asked to explain what exactly the Guru does and why it's needed, he said, the Guru gives you the knowledge of the self, but before he or she can teach you anything, you need to be ready. The mind needs to be pure, to be qualified and spiritually prepared, mature for knowledge, for jnana yoga, for the highest yoga of wisdom. So to make sure that the disciple is ready, the guru purifies. The first step is he says, Ramana Maharshi says, first he purifies, then he gives the knowledge. But how he purifies, this is the question, and he answers by association. So by association, being in the company of the guru, the mind purifies. And then the guru can impart the knowledge of the self. The guru is verily a link between the individual and the immortal. He is a being who has raised himself from this into that, and thus has free and unhampered access into both the realms. This is very important to understand why it's so needed, because for us to relate, we need something that is relatable to us in our current state. We cannot relate to very, very abstract things, especially that we perceive ourselves as an individual, as a body, as a person. So the only way to relate is to another person, to another human being, because this is how we perceive ourselves. But the guru is a unique human being, he says, because he has access to both the realms. He says, in one hand, he lifts you up from where we are, and on the other hand, he can take you to the higher realm, because he has access to both the realms. Another analogy he's giving is like someone who is standing in water up to his or her waist. And so the bottom part is in the cool water, and the higher part of the body is in the hot sun. This is the analogy for having access to both the realms. He can relate to us in this relative, illusory, samsaric reality, where under ignorance we perceive ourselves to be individuals, separate from others, going through pain and pleasure and attraction and aversion. He or she can relate to that realm because they have access to it. But on the other hand, they also have access to the realm of truth, the realm of the true nature. He or she knows their true nature, and they know your true nature. This is the difference between us and them. In essence, yes, I am the Atman, he or she is the Atman, the Guru is the Atman, but the difference is that he knows and we don't know. And it's a big difference. So, he says, he stands, as it were, upon the threshold of immortality, and bending down, he raises the struggling individuals with his one hand, and with the other lifts them up into the imperium of everlasting joy and infinite truth consciousness. Another beautiful thing that Ramana Maharshi says, he says, because the Guru is both is inside, but it's also outside. Outside because we perceive as a human being an individual outside, but inside because really is your true self. So he says from the outside, he's pushing the mind of the disciple to go inwards. This is how he or she operates. They push our mind, somehow they know how to make the mind to go inwards, to become more introvert and go inside. And then because also he is inside, truly speaking, is your subtlemost, innermost reality. He says from the inside, he's pulling your mind inside. So this is why he says he has a dual action, pushing and pulling. From outside is pushing the mind to go inside, and from the inside is pulling. But the bottom line is this beautiful relationship with Guru and the sadhana of Guru Bhakti Yoga and uh, and being guided by a Guru, ultimately the purpose is to make the mind to go inside and to find the true nature of who you are, which is the real secret for everlasting happiness. Om Tat Sat.